Have you ever struggled with not getting what you want? For example, have you ever seen a little kid go into a store and he wants a toy, but the mom and dad say no? Next thing you know, this little child has a meltdown, and you look over and you probably have a lot of judgmental thoughts, right? We've all been there. If that was my kid, I wouldn't put up with that. I wouldn't tolerate that, etc. But how about when you don't get what you want? How do you react? You see, a lot of times we don't have a meltdown like that child in the aisle and start kicking and punching and screaming and making a scene. But eternally, we are throwing a fit. We are holding our emotions because we're mature, we're adults. We're not going to just let them loose. But inside of us, we're boiling up with anger, with bitterness, with resentment, with revenge, with hatred, because we didn't get what we wanted. And where do these emotions come from? A lot of times you think that they come from a place of unfairness, or it wasn't right, or I was done wrong. And so therefore you feel that those emotions are valid. I'm here to tell you those emotions are not valid. Those emotions are fruits of the flesh. And once you identify that it's the flesh that's reacting and not the spirit, you're going to be able to grow and live a life that's going to honor God in every season of your life. You see, because in life, we don't get what we want. Most of the time, we don't get what we want. And that is something that we have to come to understand. Why don't we get what we want? Because a lot of times what we want isn't in God's will. Or what we want isn't beneficial for us. Or here's another one. What we want isn't ideal for the whole, like the group, the family, everyone. And that's where we struggle the most. That's where you struggle the most, because most of the time what you want is selfish. It's only about you. There's a saying, me, myself, and I. A lot of times that's how you're thinking. So when things don't go your way, you have to find a way to make it go your way. And that right there is a fruit of the flesh. And I want to let you know that a lot of this is rooted in the past. It's rooted not just in random things. It's rooted in your childhood. I know a lot of people don't like talking about this, but a lot of times this selfish, self-centered, arrogant attitude that you have is because you were raised to believe that you were the center of attention. You were raised to believe that it had to go your way. You were raised to believe that you were the one that had to be given everything. Self-entitlement. But in reality, when you give your life to Christ, you got to understand all of that is invalid. We don't have self-entitlement. We're not going to get what we want, and it's not always going to go our way. Because as a daughter of God, as a child of God, as a son of God, you have to realize that it's God's way. I'm going to let that sink in for a couple of seconds. It has to be God's way. Because when it's not God's way, then it's going to be made a mess. And it's the only way that you're going to be able to understand God's will for your life. That God's not always going to give you what you want. It's not always going to go the way you expect it. And when you can make a connection, a mental connection with an emotional connection of it's not going to go my way, and you have a spiritual foundation with it, you are going to be not just an emotional intelligent person, not just spiritually mature person, but you're also going to be a person that's going to be able to impact and edify those around you. Why? Because it's not all about you. It's about, first and foremost, giving God the glory and the honor and everything that you have to go through. So when you're able to take that mentality of me, myself, and I, and put it aside and say, Lord, it's you. It's what you want, not just for me, but what you want for those around me. I'm going to do it. You're going to do it with peace. You're going to do it with joy. But most of all, you're going to do it knowing that God is going to be the rewarder of your life. And you're not going to get what you want all the time, but you're going to be okay with it. I want this video to edify you. So I don't know where you are at right now. Maybe you were struggling. Maybe you're mad at someone. Maybe you're mad at your spouse. Maybe you're mad at your parents or at a sibling because you didn't get what you wanted. They didn't do what you thought they should have done. I want you to take a step back and say, Lord, give me peace. Give me peace with the feeling of missing out. And give me peace to know that it's not all about me. I want to honor you, and I want to put my emotions aside so that you can be glorified. Something to think about. If you like this, make sure you subscribe, stay tuned, turn on your notifications, and we'll talk soon. God bless you.